It's springtime. You know what that means?
Yeah, it means we're grabbing some shovels and building some ponds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about building some ponds. She took all the fun out of that for me. I was thinking other things.
She was thinking spring fever.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know,
bunny rabbits,
nookies and stuff, fun stuff. But no, she was like, oh, let's go dig some ponds.
Yeah.
All right, fine. But we did want to talk a little bit about the ponds and different ways to build them and different ways we found to build them.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit more cost effective, a little bit easier.
Yeah, the problem is when people think about, especially when it comes to koi ponds, they think major expense.
Right.
Well, Sandy and I are really, really cheap.
We're poor. I'm poor.
No, we're cheap too.
Yeah.
We've figured out ways to build workable ponds, and you've seen how ours hold up.
Yeah.
On the
budget that we have.
On a shoestring budget.
Right. Yeah. We really do figure ways around things. Like we won't even go with the concrete one. I guess that's a cheaper way. But let's just talk about when we dug the one out there.
Yeah, because I think the concrete ones are most expensive. So we'll go from cheapest to most expensive.
Yeah.
So,
we dug a hole.
Yeah. Okay, so the absolute cheapest pond I think we built was when we used a kiddie pool.
We used a kiddie pool.
Yeah. When you put, not a blow up kiddie pool, by the way.
Yeah, one of those plastic
but
ones.
One of those
plastic
hard ones.
Yeah.
All we did was dig a hole, throw that bitch in there, throw some gravel in there, fill it with water, and call it a day.
Yeah, we did put a couple of plants around it a little bit to kind of, but you know, it was just kind of, it was a short term. It wasn't forever.
It was just, let's see how this works.
Yeah, it did work.
Yeah,
it did work.
It did, but the damn animated or the cartoon fish at the bottom
were distracting.
Were really distracting. No matter how much gravel you put, those little buggers still.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
But okay, but it did work.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
So that is a really,
it
really
is an option.
cheap way.
It's a cheap option, and you can decorate around it so that you can, you know, I mean, was that the one the raccoons got into, or was it one of the other ones?
No, it was one of the other ones.
That was yeah. But anyway, it was very cute. It didn't last long, but for us, it wasn't permanent enough for us.
Yeah. The problem with the plastic and things like that is if you live in the tropics like we do, the sun will fade it out, start cracking.
Yeah, we couldn't leave it long term. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't a great long term if you're somewhere where it's hot or if it freezes too. Yeah. Something about plastic doesn't do well in the elements.
Long term.
So if you built it under like a pagoda or something like that, or maybe under a shade tree, which we didn't do, that might work out better. But
short term it worked.
Yeah, so we started upgrading and started going with liners.
Right.
Actually, we started with this preform.
Yeah, we did. I was saying we did the preform liners first.
Okay, preform liners are, I want to say they're PVC.
Yeah, some kind of really heavy plastic.
Heavy plastic type. You can get them at most garden shops.
Yeah, and they come in a lot of different sizes.
Yeah, you can get them anywhere from like 20 gallons all the way up to 200 gallons.
Yeah. Or bigger. I think I saw some at some of the garden centers that were 500 and 600 gallons.
Yeah.
So you can actually get them, and you can actually have them made bigger even than that. But
yeah. But
the ones at the stores,
yeah, they're going to run you anywhere from $20 up to like a couple hundred, depending on the size. Right. And they're usually black. Yeah. I have seen them in blue, but that's
few and far between.
Yeah,
I think I've seen one in blue.
Yeah.
We probably saw the same one. Usually they're black.
Yeah, usually they're black, and they usually have the little plant shelves built in and everything.
Right. Which we use for filter boxes to hold the filter boxes on, but who needs plants? We needed filter box holders.
Yeah. Now there are actually two ways to do this. We do it. There's the right way, and then there's the wrong way that we've done both. The right way is to dig a hole and put it in.
Right.
And then water around and make sure the ground settles to form around it.
Right.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Or you can try to prop it up.
I've propped it up propped them up on cinder blocks.
Cinder blocks. It worked.
I've propped them up on wood before too, because my Medusa pond is all above ground. There's no way to dig under there because it's a well. So well pipes are right under it. So I just basically took a lot of mulch and a lot of some cinder blocks to steady it, and then mulched around it, and then I put plants around it, and it's an above ground pond.
It works.
Right.
It does work. It's cute.
Yeah, now these things are really, really durable. I think we've only destroyed one.
And it took some effort.
And it took some effort. Yeah. It cracked.
Yeah.
But that was because I had left it out and it filled with rainwater and it wasn't stabilized and it.
Right. Yeah, I was saying it was because we hadn't stabilized. It was just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
And one of the and it kind of cracked from the.
Yeah. So as long as you take care of them and not leave them out in your yard like I did with the whole, oh, I'll get to it eventually.
In our defense, there was a lot going on.
There was.
There was. But anyway, they do work. And you just have to be careful if you're going to be putting fish in them. What size fish, obviously.
Yes. Yes.
And what size little ponds. Like we use them for plants. We use them for minnows.
But mostly plants.
Mostly just plants. Yeah, we had some minnows grow. Frogs. Get the frogs in there to get the tadpoles.
Yeah, we do use them for tadpoles.
We use them for tadpoles. So when we say ponds with those, we don't necessarily mean fish ponds like for the koi. Not us. We don't have anything big enough.
Yeah, once we start getting to the liner ponds, then you're starting to talk goldfish and koi.
Yeah.
Right now.
And not that we didn't put a couple of the koi in one of the liners for a day or two when we were doing something.
Yeah.
But it was when they were smaller and younger.
Oh, I've used a liner as a hospital tank for a koi before.
Yeah, so it just, you do what you have to do. So, but they're not long term, but they're not big enough. Most of them, the ones that you can buy in the store easily, aren't big enough long term for koi.
Yeah.
We did run into that issue with the ones we rescued. The lady had a very large, she did have a very large liner, one of the pre-made liners, and unfortunately after 5 years, the koi outgrew it and they couldn't even turn. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying it was a small one, it was one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But she just, she just, they just outgrew it. So, I'm not saying you can't do it. I mean, she did it for 5 years. Yeah. And I think she had 4 koi in there at one point.
I'm not going to encourage
that. I wouldn't encourage it. Yeah. I mean, I felt bad for them because they couldn't even turn. Yeah. But worst case scenario, if something happens, you can put a couple of them in there if you have to for a while.
Yeah, like I said, I've used them as hospital tanks when I've had to separate a koi before, and I didn't have a tank set up. I was able to, toss enough.
Just toss one in, yeah.
But not a long-term solution. But they are really nice, easy ways, easy to make ponds that you can put small fish.
Small fish, plants. Minnows, plants, things like that. Depending on where you live, some tropicals. Like we could probably put tropicals in ours in the summertime here in Florida if we wanted to. Yeah. It just in the winter we'd have to pull them in the house because they would die out there in the cold. They don't handle the cold well. But I mean, it's what you want to do with them. We use them, like I said, we usually use them to grow plants, grow tadpoles, get minnows. Well, we don't really want to get minnows, but they seem to.
Well, we do it because
we just found we just found a minnow. We were doing the deck, and we found a minnow in an old aquarium that we had sitting up that had just had some water that she was using for a tadpole catcher. And there was just one little minnow just swimming around, and she's like, I don't know how that thing got in there. I'm like, it was probably born in there, but fish in this place just appear.
I know, they're like herpes. They just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, so she caught it and threw it in with the big pond with the other minnows, and I'm sure it was very happy, but it was just funny.
Okay, so
things that we happen in this place.
Once we got done working with the preform liners, then we went to the actual liners. Right. And that's when the real fun began.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, we're calling it a lot of fun.
We're calling it relaxing.
Fun.
We're calling it relaxing. A relaxing hobby.
That's when we really
This is our relaxing hobby, yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with.
Okay. Liners, the first thing we learned is don't go cheap.
Yeah, unfortunately that's one thing you do not want to ever go cheap with. We made that mistake.
Yeah. We had a tissue paper liner once.
We had a liner, and we were so proud. We dug the hole. We got the liner lined up. We put the plants around it. It looked amazing. We had the filter. We had everything. The next day we came in, and the thing was completely empty.
That's the one the raccoon...
That's the one the raccoon jumped in and tore a hole in it because it was so thin. Within one night, it was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, so you do want to go with the thicker liner. So, the thicker the better. Yeah. But you want to go with at least a mid-range. If you're just doing plants, you can get away with a mid-range. But if you're going to be doing fish, especially heavy fish like koi, goldfish, plecos, things like that,
get the heavy duty. Pay the little extra. It's so worth it. I mean, and we're talking from cheap standpoint. We don't like to spend. But we learned that lesson the hard way.
All right, let me give you a ballpark figure on the pricing on it. The cheap liner cost me about $30 for I think it was like a 10 by 13.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
It was 10 by 13. Yeah. And it cost me about $25, $25, something like that, maybe 30. Somewhere between $20 and $30. Yeah. I can't remember if I got it on sale or not. Yeah. And it was tissue thin.
Yeah.
It
was like a shower curtain.
Yeah.
It's a good, really thin, one of the cheap dollar store shower curtain.
Yeah. The heavier ones, like the ones we use in our big ponds, those are really thick. Those are the thickest we can get them. and they're not as flexible. You're not going to be able to form fit them as well.
Yeah, they take some maneuvering.
Yeah, they take
It's
a
not
lot
something
of
that just drops in there.
Yeah, but I think for the, I think we got a 30 by 35 for the big pond out there, and that one cost about $200.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, about $200, but that was a really large one. For, let's say you're doing like maybe a 15 by 20, it's probably going to cost you around $150 for a good thick liner, but it is so worth it.
So worth it.
So how most people do liner ponds is they dig a big hole, the shape that they want, they drop it in there, they start filling it, and while you're filling it, you get in there and smooth out the edges and whatnot. Then they put like slate stones or patio stones or rocks or mulch
plants,
or whatever around the edge of it. And that's how you do a very simple liner pond.
Yeah. Not Shiva.
Yeah, we do hybrid ponds, which are half underground, half above ground. So we
they're round things. Like it's not a
like one of the hardest ones we did was around a tree, a semicircle around a tree, and that one we built up the sand around so it was above ground, and then we also had these big coquina rocks that we put around it to hold the liner down. But folding and making the pleats in order to get that semicircle, pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You do have to watch out for deep pockets in your folds though, because fish can get stuck in there.
Yeah. So if you're going to have fish in there, you have to
you have to be
careful.
Yeah. You have to
My English be good. You have to be very careful because we did actually get a fish stuck in the, and I don't know how it lives to this day. The pleco. It was in there for how long?
I don't know.
A couple months. And it lived. I don't know how.
I don't know. But
she unfolded the pleat and there was a pleco.
Yeah. We thought that somebody had taken off with it, but no, he was in there.
Yeah. So just be careful because goldfish couldn't have survived that.
Yeah. Now, how to handle deep pleats is by using water tape, which is like waterproof tape. Like I've got Flex Seal makes some.
Does Gorilla make it? Yeah, Gorilla makes it. Yeah, we did a lot of that in a couple of the ponds.
Oh yeah, we did. But you want to tape everything so you don't have any deep pockets. Anything that you can slip your hand in, a fish can get stuck in. So.
And these fish are sneaky. We currently have a couple in the sump right now because the water filled up and they somehow got in there. At least one. We know one is in there. But it was because we had all that rain, I think. But anyway. Off the subject of the ponds,
fish are very sneaky, and they do like to hide. If there's a way for them to get stuck in something, they will. So when it comes to getting a liner down, you need to make sure that you don't have deep creases.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the most, and then the most expensive pond we did, or not the most expensive, I guess pond, was the concrete.
Yeah,
inside the house.
Pond. Well, I was going to talk a little bit about the liner ponds where we're doing them mostly above ground and how we do them.
Okay.
Just simply because people don't believe me when I tell them this.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like our big pond from hell that we talked about earlier last year. God, it's been a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pond from hell that we built last year. You probably, we'll show you the pictures of all the cinder blocks we got and whatnot, because we were literally building 3 out of the 4 walls were cinder block.
Right.
Some of them were 4 blocks high.
Right.
Now, what people never believe me is the fact that I don't use mortar.
Yeah, no.
I don't use mortar at all. What I do is I stack the blocks up, I stagger them, and then I fill the holes with sand. What the trick to it, why the ponds don't collapse is you can't do this with small ponds. You can do it with larger ponds where you have the water weight spread out. Distributed
evenly.
Right.
You can't have like the small ponds where there's just concentration of water because it just pushes it out.
Right, but we've done concrete ponds. Like the first time I showed you how to build one, we built one right over here. And it was just 2 or 3 high.
Yep.
And then we just basically built the concrete the cinder block square, and then we dropped a liner in there, folded the corners, and we had a pond. We were using it for tadpoles and
put a lattice work up around it, and it looks beautiful. It was gorgeous. So it is gorgeous still. Still working.
No, that was the one we put here. We took that.
Oh, the one on the side. The one on the side we took down.
This one is another one. This one's not concrete.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that one next.
Yeah, you're talking about the one that we did over here.
Yeah.
That we had to take down. Okay.
Yeah, we ended up taking it down because it was like right where we were going to put a generator. But But
at the time, it was a great idea.
Yeah, but it's actually very simple to make a simple concrete block pond, and even the pond from hell, which is like several thousand gallons,
half and half, kind of
is half of it is underground and half of it is built up with the
walls are built up on the sides, yeah,
with the bricks. And then as a bonus round, I took spider plants. Some people call them air plants.
Yeah.
And after I filled up the holes with the dirt, I just stuck one
bunch
in
of
each
plants.
one. And now they're growing, and you can't tell that it's a wall cinder block.
Yeah, you can't even tell it's a wall cinder block at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does work.
It does work. You just have to pack it in with sand. And what I usually do is I take a hose and make sure it's wet and really pack it in there.
Yeah.
And then that way, if I ever have to take them down,
you just pull them apart.
You just pull them apart. So that also can be.
Yeah, because if you put mortar in there, it's not quite as easy to disassemble.
Well, if you put a mortar in there, you might have to get a permit.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah, that's why I do it. That's why I don't do permanent ponds, is because I don't want to have to go running.
I thought it was just because you just like to move shit around. Yeah,
well,
I was gonna say it a nice way. Yeah, she just likes to change ponds around all the time. She does it all the time.
I do, but
all the time, relaxing.
But the reason why I started doing it this way is simply because I didn't want to have to go get a permit.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't want inspectors coming out and say, what the hell do you think you're doing? And it's easier for me to just do something where if anybody comes and says, you don't have a permit for that, I don't need one, there's no mortar. All right, anyway. Now, the pond that you were talking about is actually made of wood.
That's right. This one out here is made of wood. I forgot about that.
That was made way back.
That was when you guys made your. Right, yep.
Our patio pond was actually made of wood. We got basically a bunch of 4x4s, stacked them up, braced it with some really, really thick plywood. It's braced very heavily, but wood is actually a very strong material. So we basically built a large planter, like a huge 400-gallon planter, and threw a liner in it. And that's how we built a wood pond.
Didn't it collapse once?
It did when we were building it, because we were building it too high.
Yeah. I remember that vaguely. I wasn't living here then.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. I was just visiting a lot. No matter what material you're doing. Originally, we wanted it to be about 4 feet tall. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
That was a Gareth thing. But our koi were getting too big, and they needed to, they were getting too big for our small ponds. We figured, okay, we'll build a intermediate koi pond. And we started it at 4 feet high, and as it was filling with water, the damn thing fell on me. One wall fell on me. It was wonderful. I was getting waterboarded.
Wonderful, was it?
Yeah, I was literally waterboarded by a koi pond. After that, we cut it in half. It's now 2 feet high and holds about 400 gallons.
Yeah, but it's still good enough for several koi.
And it's been through hurricanes. Yeah. It's been through all kinds of hell, and
they even made at the back in the day they made covers for it.
Cover doors
because of all the birds and the raccoons and everything to protect the fish at night, just in case.
Yeah.
But then we learned that bribing the animals works just as well.
And we put a canopy.
And we put a canopy over for the birds because the hawks and the. But anyway.
So once we put the canopy,
but it's still running. It's still here.
Yeah, it's still running now.
Still works.
I'm using it as a hospital tank for goldfish. Is what I'm doing. I've got 3 goldfish that have different things wrong with them. They're all 3 in there. They're happy as can be.
Yeah.
So that's another way you can build is with a wood frame.
Which is harder.
Yeah, it is harder, but it's very durable.
Yeah, like I said, it's lasted through hurricanes and everything, except for that very first time.
Yeah. Now another thing we did with that one is we put a steel frame down. We had an inverted tank on it for a while.
Oh, I remember. The inverted tank was there. Well, now it's just a decoration, but that's. I think we have footage of that. I'm sure.
Oh, we do.
Of the inverted tank, and the fish would come on.
Especially when we had the covers down, so you couldn't see the fish. So we put an inverted tank in the middle, and that way the fish could come up and say hi to us even when the cover was down.
And they did.
Yeah. So inverted tanks are fun, but they're a lot of work, which is why I took mine down, because I was getting tired of. I mean, I was finding frogs in there that would get stuck, and I'd have to get under it with a net and try to get frogs, and it's just it was a lot,
but it was fun. It was fun. It was good. I mean, we had it on there for
a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years.
But it was just getting to the point where it was too much work.
Again, you can make it out of wood as well. Make the frame out of wood. It's just make sure to brace it very, very well, and don't make it so high that with that. Depending on how large it is, you have to make sure to displace the water, which obviously.
Yeah, that's how we learned about water displacement.
Yeah. Which the guys should have known. They're all techie and nerdy. They should have known these things.
Yeah,
but anyway. But anyway, that was bad. But I wasn't here for that. I missed that.
Yeah,
I wasn't living here then.
I'm sure there would have been lots of camera footage.
I came afterwards. But I mean, I was here. I would come around, but I wasn't living here then.
You weren't living here then. Okay, so then finally, our most expensive one was our concrete one.
Yeah.
And that one we actually, this room that we're sitting in is actually what used to be a garage. It's
Yeah,
a
two-car garage.
And
now it's half of it is a koi pond.
Yeah, now it's an aquarium.
Yeah, now it's
this
called
is
aquarium.
where we keep most of our aquariums and our big 1,000-gallon koi pond that everybody's moves and ahs about every time they come over.
Yeah, this is the one that has a super friendly koi that you can hand feed. That
yeah.
But it was a lot of fun building. I'm sure we have footage of that. Oh my gosh! But that was probably the most expensive one.
Yeah,
because you first you have to build it, then you have to treat the concrete with the waterproofing.
Yeah, basically
stuff.
The steps on this one were, since the concrete slab that we have on this garage is 6 inches, we went ahead and dug 4 inches into it to stabilize the concrete walls that we built. Then we literally built the molds from plywood.
Yeah.
Poured in the wet concrete to build these 4-inch thick walls. Let it sit forever. Let Sandy play with a big black vibrator.
Big black vibrator, 6 foot.
Yeah,
awesome.
Basically you have to vibrate concrete.
Concrete, yeah,
get the bubbles out.
Get the bubbles out, get the air out.
Yeah.
It was not as much fun as it sounded. It was fun for the first 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. But it was cute.
Yeah, because the pond is 7 feet by 14 feet, so yeah, it was a lot of concrete.
It was a lot of concrete.
It was like 2 pallets of freaking concrete.
It was a lot of concrete. And we did all that, and then after it completely dried, then we had to paint it.
Yeah, with the pond armor. Yeah, pond armor.
Didn't we have a crack at one point that we had to...
Yeah, we did, that we had to fix.
We had one little crack, one little flaw.
Yeah, one little flaw.
You have to be careful of that on concrete, because if you don't do it completely 100% right, it can crack.
Yeah, so you have to
we just had one,
that.
And it wasn't all the way down, it was just a few feet down, so we were able to bond that and fix that.
Yeah.
That was really the only issue we had with it, but it was expensive, time consuming.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the indoor pond, and plus we put the wood around it, the wood ledge, and we also put a bridge in the middle, and we had to install electric around it to run the pumps and the lights and whatnot. So budget-wise, as far as the indoor concrete one, and I'm not counting like the walls, because we redid the whole room,
right?
But just the pond itself, including the wood for the bridge and the ledges, I'm going to say probably about $1,200. And that's us doing the work ourselves. If you hire somebody else to do it, that's going to go a lot more.
So it is expensive. It is beautiful. Please don't get us wrong. We love it. It's very relaxing, super relaxing to come in here, listen to the waterfalls, and it really is.
Yeah. Everybody loves being out here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice to be able to sit with the fish, and you see the nice couch, and it's just beautifully decorated and everything.
Yeah.
So
just
very relaxing.
A quick word: if you do an indoor pond like we did in the garage, all your furniture has to be either wood or leather or something like that. You don't want a lot of soft textiles because you do have
it's high humidity.
High humidity with the water.
Even with the humidifier,
we have a dehumidifier,
but still,
we did, but
we have windows that that open to let air in, but it gets pretty humid. It can get humid in here.
Yeah, so unless you like dealing with mold, you want to stay away from a lot of soft textiles.
Right.
I mean, everything that you see behind us can be taken down and washed.
Yeah. So, and the couch is leather, and everything else is
leather,
wood.
Everything's wood or concrete.
Concrete. So in the floor is concrete. Yeah, we have a rug down, but the floor is concrete. So, obviously it's a garage. Yeah. But no, I think it's worth it. I think it's beautiful because they decorated it wonderfully, all very Japanese themed.
Yeah.
So very nice.
And then we started throwing dragon skeletons and stuff.
And Poseidon and
it started getting really eclectic.
But it
started Japanese.
It started all Japanese. There's a Tanzu, and there's beautiful decorations that were Ducky's mom's, I believe.
Yeah.
And your kimono and just beautiful stuff. And then I think we just went a little silly with it.
Yeah, life happened.
Yeah, life happened because we can't do anything just to leave it alone. Kind of like Godzilla in the Christmas Village.
Yeah.
So, but it's good. I mean, and if you're going to have plants, you have to remember to have the lighting. Like we have the live plants in the pond.
Yeah.
So you have to have the lights to help the plants grow. You have to be able to get sunlight in there or something.
Yeah.
As well. So there's that. Mm-hmm. But it really was worth it. It's really beautiful. If you want tips on that.
Yeah. Comment below.
Comment, like, subscribe, share. Sandy doesn't ever want to play with the big black vibrator again.
I think it's still around here somewhere.
It is in here. Yeah, it's in the shed. Yeah, I saw it when I was cleaning.
Yeah.
It's definitely still here. I'm not touching it ever again. It made my hands hurt. Sorry. It really did, though. It really wasn't as much fun as it appeared. The guys made it seem like it was a lot more fun than it really was. Mm-hmm. But no, it was actually a very interesting experience.
We can say we did it.
We did it. It's lasted all this time.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, if you subscribe, like, share, comment below. We'd love to hear your comments if you ever built a pond. We'd love to see it. We'd love to hear about it. Any fun experiences you had, or if you have any questions about wanting to build one of any type.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to discuss them with you.
Now, mind you, we are not like professional contractors or anything
No.
like that. We are do-it-yourselfers.
Do-it-yourself cheap,
and we are,
if we can.
Do-it-yourself cheap and fake it till you make it types.
So yeah, so if you have any questions or something that you want to do, give us some ideas. We'll try to give you some pointers.
Yeah, we do a lot of problem solving because that's a big thing.
I mean, you've seen Shiva's ponds. You've seen the filters. You've seen the.
Yeah, if you want to see, if you want to see how much fun we can have with that problem pond, go back to our 3rd anniversary episode with the pond from hell.
Yeah, it was.
What was it? 9 attempts before we got that bitch going.
So, but live and learn, right? It was a little more expensive than we wanted it to be, but now we know.
Yeah, it didn't quite get to the point where it was as expensive as the concrete pond, but it was getting close.
It was, and it was only just due to our own error. So it wasn't anything that can't blame the situation. It was just us.
Yeah.
So, but we did it eventually, and it wasn't even, I'm just going to say, was it you or Gareth or me? It was all 3 of us together doing the wrong thing sometimes. So,
all right for 9 times.
Yeah, well, I still think that one flaw thing was just a weird, I think there was a flaw in the liner, not us. I'm pretty sure that we got the right liner. I think there was just a tear in it somewhere we didn't see. But anyway, because I don't think we tear it. We were being very careful.
Yeah.
But anyway, because we were very careful to put not rocks and things down and make sure everything was smooth on the sides, and we were being pretty cautious. But oh well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong when you build a pond.
Yeah, and the deeper, bigger the pond, the more chances you have for making mistakes. Just keep that in the back of your mind. We had fun with it, and yes, it's a beautiful pond now, but it was 9 attempts. Yeah. Okay, just keep that in the back of your mind. It was some of the smaller ponds. One attempt and go.
A day. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 attempt and go. We were fine.
Yeah, I mean, the circular pond we did in 2 days.
Yeah. I think you did 99.9% of the circular pond by yourself. I helped you put a couple of rocks in.
Yeah, but
so she did it in 2 days by herself.
Yeah, but most ponds we can usually get them dug and lined in a day.
In a day, yeah. Which we're going to do on the other side. We're going to have to remember to try to film it.
Yeah.
The one that we're going to put on the other side, so we can actually show you guys.
No, we've got some footage of us.
Yeah, we always remember to film these things after we're done.
Yeah, no, we do have some footage of putting the one
the
that we
big
put
pond,
over there, the side pond.
The side pond, yeah. But
yeah, we have like 6 ponds here.
Yes, but if you have any questions, like, subscribe, share, comment below. Buy some stuff from our stores. We do have. She's making a lot more smaller things, ornaments and things, but also keychains and things like that. So that's why we do want to make koi rana still. The koi are in that and into that. I have a shirt on.
Oh, I've got my panic koi. Look, peace, love, and
I have this one on. That's just our little pretty koi. But
yeah, we have 2 shops. We've got our graphic shop, which is where you can get the T-shirts like what we're wearing, and then we also have our Fishy Shop, which is on Etsy, and that's all the ornaments and the keychains and the little things we've been making. I've been working on a few little household items too, because I understand that not everybody likes kitschy aquarium stuff. But
oh, what's wrong with that?
No,
I love aquarium stuff. Every time she makes something new, I'm like, I'll put that in my tank and test it. I have like 6 different things in my tank right now.
I know.
And then I got to give them back sometimes. She's like, okay, I need to fix that a little. I need to make it heavier at the bottom. I'm like, no, it's fine. Leave it alone. We found out that the cats are light enough that the big catfish can knock them over.
Yeah.
And they're heavy. She's just bigger.
Yeah.
So she's like, I can weight the bottom. I'm like, no. We'll just...
Yeah, one of these days we'll have to do an episode in my workshop and show people what kind of hell we go through trying to make these things. But yeah,
that would be an interesting episode.
We do test our stuff, and we always think when we're making aquarium ornaments, we always think, what are the fish going to do to it?
Right.
How they look is secondary compared to, is this going to hurt the fish? Can the fish knock it over? Can the fish eat it? Can the fish use it to throw and break the glass? What are the fish going to do with this thing?
And that's the truth. These fish are crazy. Some of them.
Yeah, like you have a dragon that keeps moving.
The dragon moves. Since I've laid it down and pushed it into the sand, it doesn't move as much, just kind of sides a little bit. But I have 2 cats in there, and randomly one will get knocked over and moved around, and then I pick that one back up, and then they knock the other one over. Right now they have my I have the it's a little quarter temple thing with the little sticks, and they've managed to tilt that onto its side. And this takes some effort. This is not an easy task. These things are not light.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's Lilith being a jerk.
Her catfish.
She gets out and fucks with things in the middle of the night. I'm pretty sure it's her.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the others are strong enough. Honestly, I think it's her. She's one of the larger, she's the large fish in my tank. I mean, because I have a bunch of tetras and things like that in mine. And she's a good, about that long. Just,
She's a catfish.
She's a catfish. Yeah, she's just a pain in my ass.
Yeah.
But usually she'll hide from me, but she'll come up and I wish I could get footage on her. She like comes up and looks out the hole in the hidey thing and kind of stares at me and then slides back down. Like every time I walk in the room, she's like, "Hey, who are you?" Oh, it's just you. Then she goes back down. She probably wants
she's like, put something else in the
probably
tank
wants Lucifer back.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, if you have any questions about the ponds, like, subscribe, share, comment below. We would love to hear about your ponds and what you've done. We'd love to hear comments. We try to answer questions as much as we can.
Yeah.
We love to hear them. We love that you guys are communicating with us.
Yes, and keep those questions coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're sitting around going, "Oh, gee, what should we talk about?"
Yeah.
We're that bad sometimes. So
Yeah. It's been a long week, but
yeah, keep those questions coming.
Absolutely. And again, like, subscribe, share, comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And buy stuff.
Yep.
Buy stuff.
Buy stuff.
Buy stuff. Bye.
Bye.